We have such sights to show you.
Such sights indeed. And this is a review for the Hellraiser reboot. Now, full disclosure, and probably due to horrendous blasphemy, I've never seen the original Hellraisers. But this one, I could instantly say, even without seeing the original Hellraisers, does not hold up. So the main character, Voight, in this, or not the main character, but the main villain, goes through sacrificing people to the Cenobite puzzle. And he gets to the end, he harvests enough people for the puzzle that he gets to choose a reward. So even at the end of this movie, for the main character, there's rewards. There's life, knowledge, love, sensation, power, and resurrection. But the trick is, these are ironic rewards. And of course, if you see this on screen, if something like this was to offer you a wish, I mean, you wouldn't exactly trust this, would you? To give you an honest, legitimate, like, wish? But anyways, Voight's a dumbass, and he chooses sensation. Well, you know, in his head, he's, like, thinking he's gonna get some kind of weird, like, otherworld orgy with, like, Cenobites or aliens or some weird shit. But what happens to him is they, like, jam a Cenobite, like, steampunk device in his chest that runs his nerves through it. And it's gross. There's things in this movie that it's gross and unsettling. And it's pretty, like, appalling and morbid. But it kind of falls short in that sense. I mean, yes, it's gross seeing his nerves being fed through this thing. And, yeah, that's the kind... So the main character realizes that these wishes that are granted are, like, twisted irony of themselves. So instead of choosing to resurrect her brother that she is responsible for killing, she chooses... not to do anything. I think that's life. So the Cenobites go, "Oh, you've chosen life, and you'll live a short life filled with regret." But then she'll just live her life. So, as far as that being ending, it was kind of shitty. But in reality, no one would choose resurrection for their loved one, involving these sick, weird, gimpy, like pain BDSM aliens. Yeah, this movie was okay. The gore, surprisingly, wasn't as bad. I've seen worse gore in the Silent Hill movies, and just worse gore in other movies in general. And this movie kind of fell short, in my opinion. And it was, the director has done a few other things. I don't really care. But this one just seemed short. There was one interesting scene that freaked me out. Is for a split second, one of the side characters actually goes into the Cenobite dimension, and it's disturbing. You hear screams. There's like these weird flesh contraptions that you can hear screaming coming from. So we don't know if these are people's souls or people's lives still being tortured forever and eternity in this weird screwed up dimension. I thought that could have been something they should have explored more into. In fact, it was stomach churning when that character was in that dimension. It's like, ooh. But as far as the main characters in this movie, you kind of root for them to all die. I mean, that's my opinion when I watch most horror movies, because I hate the characters and the acting of those characters. The acting in this is pretty freaking bad. I mean, I think another YouTuber here said it better. Justin, he said, you know, if you were stuck or sent to a Cenobite like dimension, you'd be losing your shit. You'd be swearing. You'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" You know, you'd be losing your mind in just not only disgust, but you'd be shocked to the point of like just absolute revulsion of seeing what these Cenobites do to people in living flesh. You would, in fact, but the actors they chose for this movie, I don't know where they got them from. It was just bad. The main character, I think, played in the Dune movie, and I think she's been in other movies. She was like above mediocre, but everyone else is it was kind of shitty. And of course, there was slight little political stuff in it, but then again, this movie, I would say skip it. Even if you have a Hulu subscription, this pops in the suggestions. Don't watch it because it's it's not really worth your time. I mean, the one cool thing, again, like I said, is when they briefly show the Cenobite realm. That was kind of interesting and off-putting, but the rest is kind of just subpar horror tropes that you've all seen 100 times. So this movie, I'd say, is below average, and I wouldn't suggest recommending it. The only reason why I saw it is, quite frankly, for just the weird kind of gore that would be in it. And even in that reasoning wasn't that great. I mean, there's weird shit, like the pin, shows the pin going through someone's neck on one side and the other side. That was kind of gross and weird, and it seemed like it was playing towards some kind of weird fetish. But yeah, I'd say pass on this one. If you're really gonna watch the Hellraiser, I haven't even seen the original Hellraisers, but I would probably, it's probably safe to assume that the original Hellraisers are probably far better than this, probably better acting, probably better effects, and probably more scarier than this one. This one kind of just seems not that great. I think they could have just done a better job in general. Now, again, I'm no actor, I'm no director, I'm no producer, but I think if you're going to go into this weird, like, pain dimension, like, fucked up torture and, like, body horror level stuff, just crank that up to a 10. Like, really swing for the fences. But this movie is kind of muted in that aspect. And if you're really going to, like, scare or revolt people, I don't know. I will say there's one more cool thing, that the 4 different Cenobites, or the 4 or 5 that make an appearance in this movie, they do have unique, disturbing designs. So that's just the 2 good things about this movie that I found interesting, that each Cenobite has its unique. I think some of the previous characters that died earlier in the film are the Cenobites, if you really look at their design. Like the lady that was smoking, that accidentally cut herself on the puzzle. I think she was there because there's a Cenobite that's breathing the same way she was, and that was really off-putting. So there's interesting aspects, but it just falls short. There's not enough good aspects and creative, like, horror, in my opinion, to really suggest this to anyone. But I mean, if it's there and you have nothing else to watch and you just want to see something weird for Halloween or before Halloween or for the spooky season, then this could be an below average watch if you have nothing else to watch. But as far as horror movies are, there's definitely better ones out there. And as far as the Hell Priest, not that like, great. They could have done better. And with that, I'll end this video. See you next time. Take it easy. And yeah, the Hellraiser reboot was kind of a letdown.